So I'm here today in Whickham at St Mary's Church with Jonathan Bloxham, who founded, how many years ago, the Northern Chords?
17 years.
17 years, the Northern Chords Festival, which brings some absolutely incredible world-class musicians to places like St Mary's Church in the northeast, bringing them here. And Jonathan's done that because he's from Whickham, he's from our community, and as church bells ring right on time, we're here today to talk about the festival. So tell me, what gave you the idea to do this in our community?
Well, I grew up here in Whickham, as you say. I went to school here in Front Street Primary School, and it was there that I started my life in music. One day, a cello teacher from the local education authority of Gateshead's music tuition service came and asked the pupils in my class who wanted to learn the cello, and I unwittingly put up my hand and was given a cello, and that's how it started. And I stayed in the Northeast until I was 16. I then left to go and study at a specialist music school. And when I was 19 and 20, around 1920, I thought it'd be wonderful to bring some of the people that I'd already met at that point back to the Northeast, partly just to have fun and make great music with friends, but also to kind of give something back to the community that set me off on my journey.
So you're performing here at St Mary's next Friday, which I'm very much looking forward to. What are you going to be treating us to?
So next Friday we have three incredible artists. I'm not performing on Friday. We have a BBC Young Musician of the Year pianist called Martin James Bartlett, who's a great friend. We've just been in Romania together this week, in fact, doing some Beethoven concertos. And we have another festival friend who's been up a few times called Louis Schwitzgebel, another fantastic pianist who's Swiss, and the tenor Ben Johnson, who won the audience prize at Cardiff Singer of the World. So a rather incredible musician. And Louis and Martin are going to be playing piano duets together, which they don't very often do. So it's incredibly special that they'll be sitting side by side at the wonderful Bosendorfer piano we have here at St Mary's. And Ben will be singing some songs in English and some songs in German as well. So a mixed program, Mozart, Schubert, Debussy, lots to enjoy.
Fantastic. Now, of course, you are now living and working in Lucerne, in Switzerland, which is very beautiful, by the way. I've just had a look at some of the photos. Nearly as beautiful as Whickham. What would you say to somebody who, perhaps a young person growing up today in Whickham or elsewhere in Gateshead, who thinks, I'd quite like to be an internationally renowned musician and composer? Yeah. How did you do it? How could someone do it today? And what are the challenges, particularly, that we need to overcome?
Absolutely. Well, I think you have to throw yourself into it. I mean, being a musician is like being a sportsman, whether you love football or squash or tennis or rugby. It's the same thing. It requires dedication and focus. Yeah. It requires wonderful teachers, and we have many in this region, and which I'm incredibly grateful for, as I said. And I think, you know, come and taste what it's like. Come and try, because many people haven't been to a classical music concert, and people might not feel like it's for them. You know, classical music maybe is that thing over there, and you know, it's written by people who have died hundreds of years ago, and it might not feel relevant. Yeah. But I would say that if you come to a concert, the worst thing that will happen is you'll have a lovely evening listening to some great music. And the best thing that might happen is it might completely change your life forever. And come and give it a chance. And then whether you want to perform or whether you just want to appreciate by listening, I think we both need more performers and more audience in our world. And follow your heart. It's a beautiful life. I mean, it's hard, it requires dedication. When I was playing the cello before I started conducting, you know, 6-7 hours a day practice in some years, every single day. But it gives you so much back later on, and you meet wonderful people, and you share also in music. And by that I mean we're chatting to each other in a language, and music is a language too, but you don't need to understand German or French or Spanish to do it. It's a totally universal language which speaks to people completely directly, and that's one of the most beautiful things, to be part of that world.
And if you had to sum up the Northern Chords in one sentence, if that's possible, how would you sum it up?
Fantastic music, fantastic venues, great friends, and a lot of fun. So the first performance of Northern Chords is here at St Mary's Whickham at 7:30 on the 27th of June. Tickets available on door or online, and under 25s are free.